Hello. All right. Back to nowhere. All right, grab your gamer socks. Get your programmer socks. Get your monster. Everyone says make some popcorn, but like yeah, if you want to make popcorn, go do like the real popcorn with you put it in the pan, you add the oil, you do the real deal. Not the microwave stuff. Not that I'm really trying to gatekeep popcorn, but it does taste better. And then, like, slather it with butter. Take it from a healthy snack to an unhealthy snack. Treat yourself. Um, Today's word of the day is isthmus. It's kind of like a peninsula, but like longer and connects on both sides. We're back at nowhere. We've got a population of 13,876, which before it was 14,000, so a couple hundred people died, or moved out, or just did not answer the census questions. But right now, things are pretty good. Not really sure where to go with this. I mean, clearly the biggest demand is residential, and there's a lot of room for that, so I guess we're just gonna start making some little towns out here. I started on this weird interchange, and then I'm not happy with it. I did notice that over here was the one place on the map where you can get ore that's on a flat surface. I want to point out the rest of it, both for ore and oil, is... I mean, look at this. It's only in the mountains. If you want that oil, god dang, you're gonna have to work for it. You gotta get up there. You gotta go hike for it. Well, it's just all in the mountains. And I really don't want to level all the mountains because they're actually very well made in this map. They're not just raise the land. Look, these are actually nice mountains. So, just through my own rules. Oh my god, look at all that oil up there. Look at all that oil up there. How am I supposed to get that? I don't understand. Alright. Well, I think I'll be focusing on this area right now, putting some more little towns. Other than that, the only thing else that's happened is the university leveled up to level 2, which is pretty cool. All of the campus DLC stuff is entirely new to me. Again, I got this purely because I was like, oh, okay, it can actually boost your city other than just be more micromanagement. Not that I don't like my micromanagement. I do. But since it also seems to have some other intrinsic value to being used, I decided, okay, I'll get it because I want my fish industry to thrive. And it looks like the trade school is not the one that does that, but oh well. Other than that, we've got fish galore, we've got apartments, got fish factories, and everything is just eternal summer, both quite literally and in kind of the aura of the whole place. I'm not turning on the day-night cycle because, well, you can't see anything at night. It's like Minecraft night. You can't see anything. No, I take that back. It's like Rust night. It is pitch black. You can't see anything at night. At least if you're trying to build something. Sure, the city's lit up, but the parts that aren't the city are where you're trying to build, and that's not lit up. So it's very hard to get anything done, and it is overall actually a pretty poor viewing experience and even poorer of a playing experience. So day-night cycle is off. Weather is also turned off. I just didn't like the extra shiny roads. And also, neither of those features actually do anything. Everyone just continues to go to work and school and shop and play and sleep and go to the hospital and just at nighttime as much as they do in the daytime. It has essentially zero actual gameplay impact. So I don't I just decided it wasn't worth the trouble. So it's just gonna always be daytime. I thought about day and night with the real-time mod, but that appears to have some pretty major bugs right now, so that's also off the table. Other than that, I'm looking at this area. This just looks really good. Get some boats. I said no public transit, but ferries might be nice. They're pretty unorthodox. They're not particularly common either. A lot of America is either in the middle of nowhere or on a waterway that can't really support major ferry traffic. So I'll see. We'll see. I'm staying off tourism as much as possible because right now the only way in is by car, and I really don't want to push the traffic more than I have to. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at right now. We're just having fun. I'm having fun. I mean, I like City Skylines. I will also admit that for a good number of years, I bashed it for having a pretty empty economy. And through both several updates and through mods, those complaints have mostly gone away. I think we're actually at a pretty wonderful spot right now with City Skylines 1. It is also leagues ahead of City Skylines 2 and looks to be staying that way for for a good hot minute. Right now, the world is the bivalve of our choice. I'm gonna go with mussels. I actually like mussels more than oysters. Anyway, let's get back to the let's play the game. Just need this one to go that way. This one here. It's pretty simple, but I mean, if you don't tell them where to go, they're gonna do something stupid. Well, if everyone coming off the bridge, I'm gonna have to redo this. I'm gonna have to redo this. Because I didn't leave enough room for the ramps coming off the bridge. I was like, they can get on the next exit or whatever. But the car is king. You gotta cater to the car and make it as convenient to get around by car. Yeah, I have to redo this.
2 hours later.
Where do I even start? I said I'd redo it. I redid it. Kinda just did a little bit at a time here. Got some more fish going on. Got a little bit of residential, not nearly enough residential to actually support the local area, but it's fine. Opted for a pretty messy single point interchange. What is it? A SPUI? SPUI, single point urban interchange for the entry right off the water. And then of course here, car is king. Car is king. So, pushed over the highway to make room for this mining operation. And as an aside, dang, the ore industries are ugly. They're just rectangles and they're just sand. Like this is disgusting. What the fuck happened to my game? What happened to my game? Oh, okay. Alright, the industry leveled. Thanks. I was in the middle of this. Anyway, this is actually about as much of a high capacity interchange as I could make, given the circumstances and what I needed. And I'm putting in some industrial by using the ore industries. And frankly, I kind of regret it already. I mean, it's just really ugly. The farms are okay. Farms are pretty. This is... I understand that industry is not meant to be picturesque. But, like, even from just a standpoint of, oh, I want it to look industrial, this also looks bad. and I don't know how to make it not look bad. It's ugly. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's ugly. This section over here is obviously not finished. You can see over here, just kind of a road goes into nowhere. The lanes don't add up. The lane mathematics is obviously not here in certain places, but this section is not what I'm focusing on. I put some houses over here. I want to work on this bit by bit. We're getting at it bit by bit. But this section is not really set up highway-wise. But this over here, this is good. We've got direct routes coming in off the bridge to go into town, and then also go into the industrial section, and vice versa. There is minimal amounts of weaving. There's a little section right in the middle that has weaving, and the rest of it is pretty much free of that. I'm actually quite proud of this. I was able to get a lot of it done without anarchy. A very significant portion, I was surprised it just kind of let me place it without anarchy. So, you know, it doesn't affect anything, but it is cool. This little corner of town where the roads converge is a bit of a commercial section. We've got a Walgreens. Walgreens is great for if you're really eager about someone screwing up your prescription and not getting what you need on time, then Walgreens is good for you. I have beef. There is some roads going along the beach, and I've not done a single thing with them. I don't think I will for a while. This little corner is actually coming along quite nicely, and I think I'm very happy with it. There's a lot to do, but these two main roads, especially over here, that come off the highway and converge into an actual normal road, I think I've set myself up really nicely here to have the downtown area in just up these roads, and I think we'll actually be able to handle the traffic when that becomes a thing, which is cool. I think I've actually future-proofed quite well here. So, that's where we're at. Making progress. Looks like we're at about 20,000 people. That's mostly low density. Oh, okay, I mean, this is good, but I was in the middle of something. So right off the bat, that reminds me, the college, as soon as I put down a library, there's just land value everywhere. This kind of light blue, like this is all just now worth something because it's within radius of, no, not that, this. I think I built two actually. No. There it is. Yeah, if it's in range of a library, you get a lot of land value. Also, just the rest of it. University adds a lot of land value, which is great to know. So, a lot of space just has land value now, which is great for development. Put in a new town of Bassett. I don't even remember where I got this name from. I think it was like Nebraska. Again, I'm just going to Google Maps and just looking at just zooming in into the middle of nowhere and being like, eh, what's over here? Oh, something weird? Alright, cool. It's either east and west Bassett or north and south. Again, I actually don't know which direction is north. The only indication would be where the sun rises and sets, but I have night and day turned off, so that's not happening. Alright, so this is a good, decent overview. Okay, so we've got plenty of room still, especially on what for right now is west, way out here. Over here on the west, there's a lot of flat land, which is clearly where where it's Jalix wanted anyone to go, because that's where all the land is. Although down here, I mean, you could squeeze something in between the mountains, but I don't like buying the last tile because it just kind of screws things up. So I decided to just extend antlers from here over to here and just keep going. And I'm gonna probably remove this little shopping district because it's a little too advanced. Look, pathways to separate pedestrian traffic from auto traffic? That's not American, that's dirty communism. Or something. Really not a lot going over here across the water. Got a little bit of farms, that's nice. This train station's getting used pretty heavily, I remember. It is right next to the industries. This gets use, but not as much as I'd like. I have a lot of trucks just going way over here to get to the highway. And if I add ramps here for easier access, that's just going to incentivize further highway use. So I think I'm going to bite that bullet and just not add it. Once again, admitting Campus DLC, pretty cool. I really like it. I like the additions that I've got. I like the, I just like it. It looks good. Look at that. Look how awful the screen tearing and pixelation is. I have anti-aliasing turned on. Why does it look like that? Over here, is this a district? Is this even a town? Is this named? Yeah, okay, I was on the wrong thing. It's Bolt. This is Bolt. I think I got that from West Virginia because I was going to move there at one point and then did not. This is kind of coming along. I'm really happy with this. A lot of level 1 residences, like we should have. We need income inequality. Put together this wacky-ass interchange here. This took longer than I'd like to admit. I think this was like probably 3 hours solid of poking and prodding. And this is maybe the 4th iteration. And it barely fits together. Slow down the game. Things just kind of are clipping a little bit. Like, I've got 3-ish, 4-ish layers. It's really... It was made awkward by the fact that I've got to connect 2 of the sides, which are very close to each other, the highway and then the little road town, or the town road, and they're in the same direction next to each other, but they're completely separate entrances and exits. Which normally isn't bad if they're next to each other, but the fact that they have to be able to go from one to the other instead of just going one way and then splitting an exit into 2, it just made this a lot more complicated, which is fine. It was a bit of a brain teaser, but it did take a while. And I was going to put a whole bunch along this coastline, and then I looked at the topographical map, and it's extremely steep. Come all the way down here, and only really when we get to about here it levels off, and even this was with a lot of landscaping. I'm going to put another town down here. I decided, you know what, this whole beach, that's going to be a nature reserve. Make it a park. Hasn't opened yet. This little island, I googled Party Island, and I came up with Ibiza. The native name of Ibiza, the flag of Ibiza. It's, I think it's an island in Spain. I'll put up a picture of it right here. There's like an island in Spain just known for its nightlife. Alright, cool, great, makes that easy. The difficulty is, I was like, oh, I want all these to be little independent cities, they're all connected, except when you grow them to the border of the next city, they all look like they're part of the same city, the same little town, so... kind of accomplishing what I want, kind of not. Got off the Steam Workshop this really cool network here, this pedestrian path that has pedestrians in the middle, bikes on the outside. I'll put a picture here. I really like it. Connected it with pedestrian stairs to this little beach down here. And it's great because it keeps people off the bridge. Altogether, this area is very nice. I like this. It uses this highway exit that I built a long time ago. Traffic flow overall 82%. I'm very proud of that number because 20,000 is a lot. We also have despawning turned off. We're in hard mode. Now, traffic is mostly calculated just by how much green and red there is, and red is really just the amount of traffic, but not the actual amount of congestion. So lots of cars that are moving smoothly still causes it to be red. Like, what do you do here? There's no problem here. This is red, but there's no issue. This is moving fine. Doing fine, though. There's no issue here to solve. This is fine. So, Traffic is kind of misleading, although still I'll take it. Hey, 83 now. I'll take an 83%. That's quite a number to be proud of, honestly. That essentially means everything's moving. I'm pretty sure if you have a completely empty map with not a single car on it in your city, it'll still only go up to like 88%. So don't know what this percent actually means, but bigger number, good. Probably the reddest part would be this interchange here. Truthfully, it's great. This works wonderfully. I'm very happy with it. It's a two-part with the issues here. That's noise, not traffic. Two parts that are red. Coming off the highway, going into town. Honestly, most of the issues are resolved by just putting a pedestrian overpass so cars don't have to slow down for pedestrians. And it's just never a problem. Over here, same deal. Go into Traffic Manager President Edition and allow vehicles to enter blocked intersections since the intersections are so close. Add yield signs, and Bob's your uncle. Well, now it's backing out. Okay, let's speed this up. Maybe that'll resolve itself. What can I do to improve this? Because this side is backing up a little bit. Now, not terribly. That's not awful, but it could be better. Okay, how can this be improved? Okay, traffic coming off the highway gets priority. I'm not arguing that. That's getting a priority. Maybe traffic going onto the highway from the one-way road can also yield. Maybe it'll take a minute for them to get the memo. That looks like it's actually worse. Oh, this is a head scratcher. I don't have any desire to rebuild this. I'll be honest. This is probably the most difficult section right now. Or probably the most... Yeah, that's not good. Like, in the grand scheme of things, that's not bad, but I want to get on that before it gets worse. All the orange down here is simply truck traffic coming off of that same interchange and going all the way over here to the industry. Again, they have a train station. I don't know why they're not using it, but hey. But almost all of this traffic is from people not using that, so... Everywhere else is pretty tasty, pretty yummy, pretty good. Every time I was gonna, point out this interchange that I'm pretty happy with. And there's a tree in the road, and every time I reload the game, there's new trees in the road. Oh, look at that. Okay, bada bing. This has resolved itself. Now this is a little more complete over here, and these roads actually go over here. Again, is actually very redundant. Now I was thinking America, right? Recreational use? No, that's the devil's lettuce. That's evil. Reduced crime rate. That's liberal propaganda. Aha! Harsh prison sentences. Now that's American. Now let's say you've got you go get a single joint and you want to smoke some marijuanas. 20 years. That's American, baby. Oh, God. Welcome to hell. I would also say school's out because, also America. But that would really fuck the city, so I'm gonna pretend that's not there. Fishing license. City offers fishing license. Okay. Doesn't actually affect fishing output or industry in any way, but increases all residential tax income by 5%, reduces citizen happiness, increases crime by 5%. These are both things that I want. First of all, more money. Second, nobody needs to be happy, they'll work anyway, and increased crime I'm justifying the harsher prison sentences. Well, we need to keep these fish criminals off the streets. Reduces residential tax income by 2%. Nope. All industrial workplaces are for well and highly educated citizens. That would justify the enormous university. Increases production output by 50%. That's nice. Reduces workplaces by 30% per zoned industry. do it. Now, I know that high-tech housing is the GOAT and will absolutely drown the landscape in land value, but I'm not going to do it. Nothing else on here really jumps out at me. Yes, I think it would pay for itself with the increased land value, but what if we were short-sighted and only looked at the increase in the budget and decided it wasn't worth it? The game's only crashed twice thus far. In fact, I think yesterday, the buttons for Rico and the button for Find It swapped. I'm in the middle of... Does this do anything for me? Oh, trolley bus technology. Does that actually do anything, or is this just word lore? So I think the next step is to work on this little town down here on this peninsula. So that's what we'll do. We're on our way. 20K, $500,000 in the bank because I've been letting it roll. And this is the only time you can really reasonably gauge your weekly income, since the game will buzzify your income. The more money you have in the bank, it will artificially lower your income. And is it doing that right now, or is that just the import-export cycle doing its thing? I don't know. It's pretty well documented that once you have a lot of money in the war chest, you just don't make as much, even without changing anything. Oh god, I feel like the guy from Jumanji. It's like, what year is it? Because of this. I spent the last 300 years painting networks. Look at it. I mean, to many people, this is normal now, but the fact that you can do this, as someone who played City Skylines when it first came out, this is unreal. And I've had the intersection marking tool for a while. I just didn't bother to learn it. Let me just point out. Let me just point out both how good it is and how quickly this works. Like, just bing. Time me. Done. Look at that. That is like that is a smooth and beautiful. Now I'm done. All right, that took less than 60 seconds. That had to be. And you know, you go and grab the node editor. Yoink. Just kind of smooth that out. Just pull these back a little bit, and very, very happy with it. Very happy to do this. This is fun. Just gonna spend the next eternity just painting these. Beautiful. I'm sure many are aware of this tool already. I've been aware of it. I know what it could do, but I just never bothered until now, and all of a sudden, I'm having a grand old time. Lord, what... I panned back. I panned back just a smidge, and what is going on here? What is that? Why can't... Why are you like this? What? What the hell do I do about that? No, that's even worse.
Huh?
Oh, that... What is that? Oh my god. This is disgusting. I mean, okay, yeah, sure. I could probably fix this with the tool I was just using. I shouldn't have to. This is gross. I mean, that does look significantly more normal, but you can kind of tell that there's something wrong with it. You know, don't be fooled by all the green ground. It's very steep. It is very difficult to actually find a place you can plop a house. But I will admit that the more complex ones are a little tedious. You got me, but it is enjoyable. I need to get used to this. I mean, the game year is at 2081, so I mean, I've clearly gone through this a lot, but I think these only pop up when the game knows you're in the middle of something. Alright, this is a... I think this is a pretty respectable, interchange design. I'm satisfied with that. Just one down, a million more to go, but it's so much fun to just be able to see these in action. Just see them come together. Oh... And even better, you can adjust it and it keeps the markings. And they'll adapt. It's just so cool. And it was missing something. It needs some stripes. Ta-da! Alright. There we go. I don't think this town even has a name. But there we go. This was the first time I tried the intersection marking tool. I didn't even know you could change it off of... I didn't know how to change it out of dashed lines. So there's just squiggly lines everywhere. This is disgusting. How close can I get? I can't zoom any. I mean, when you kind of pan down, okay, yeah, all right, I see it. But no, that's pretty bad. Gonna be honest, not tackling this right now. Not gonna tackle that. Just gonna leave that be. Also, surprise! Okay, so I said no public transit. You say public transit, you tend to think buses, trains, weird in-between bus and train with the overhead wire, the trolley bus, cable car, just a whole bunch of things. You know what I didn't think? Ferries. Like, water ferry services. And I think that was a little naive. I reside in a place where that is not feasible in the slightest. Like, not even after gross over-terraforming of the entire continent would it even be feasible. But it occurred to me that ferry services have been around for so long, and I had to Google this, and to Google ferry services in the United States, and apparently, if there's water, there's a ferry service on it. So I caved and said, you know what? That would make sense. And there's one downside to ferries, and it's been shown already. But it's this. They move really stupid. Just... they clip through everything. They kind of just weeble wobble really weird. They just move poor. Oh god, come on. It looks on the same front and back. I don't know why they have to. I have ferries. I typically keep myself zoomed out far enough that I don't have to look at this. I don't have to look at. So I don't know why these vehicles can't just reverse in place and go in reverse, because it looks like they're designed to do that, but they don't do that. So that's just kind of a cost to business. Here's our ferry lines. You can't see jack because they're all colored the same. They're all yellow. Even the ship lanes are yellow. I wanted the mass transit takeover to be at Megalopolis, but that requires a population of 65,000, and I don't see that happening. I don't see it happening. There's a lot of green space left. Like all this green. Look at all that green. There's a lot of green on the map. Right here on the screen. A lot of green. It's all too steep to build on. These spaces up in the mountains, there's no way in hell. Just is not happening. Maybe something back here. But aside from whatever is going on over here, Boulder. Not even the big boulder, but the little boulder. There's multiple boulders. Everyone thinks of Boulder, Colorado. There's also Boulder, in Western Australia. Boulder Island in Nunavut, Canada. Boulder, Illinois, an unincorporated community in Clinton County, Illinois. Thank you, Wikipedia. A Boulder, Montana, a Boulder, Utah, a Boulder, West Virginia, which, according to Wikipedia, is also an unincorporated community in Boulder County. Boulder in Boulder County. Boulder, Wyoming. Boulder City, Nevada. Boulder Creek, California. Boulder Junction, Wisconsin. A town, thank you. Boulder Junction, Wisconsin, but like another one from the other one in Wisconsin, which is the town, and then the unincorporated community, and then Boulder Dam, also known as the Hoover Dam. Why does Hoover Dam? Why is that even on here? No one has ever called that Boulder Dam. No, yes, it was. I'm looking at Wikipedia right now. It says Boulder Dam. This is what it was called in 1947. Don't forget Boulder the Band and Boulder the 2020 novel by Eva Baltazar. Or Hulk Hogan, originally known as Terry Boulder. Or Boulder, the character from Transformers Rescue Bot. Or Boulder, a fictional truck in the racing video game Excite truck. Hang on. From 2006. Boulders, not the band, but the album from the 1973 album by Roy Wood. Or Boulder, also known as Nix, a satellite of Pluto. Why do we call it Boulder? Or Horace Boulder, former American professional wrestler. That wasn't even like his early stage name like Hulk Hogan. That was just his name. Or Bouldering, the sport. The Boulder River. Why is that a disambiguation? Oh, there's like 5 of them. Or my favorite. The Rock. I'm not pulling this up. I don't like going down Wikipedia rabbit holes because it's always dumber than you think it's gonna be. Like, not that Wikipedia is dumb, but like what you see on there, I'm flabbergasted by how many boulders there are. I was not mentally prepared for that many boulders, and I'm in the middle of this, right? I just came off a 12-hour shift that got off at 4 in the morning. And it's the next day. I slept for like 12 hours, and I want to play City Skylines. And I'm reading about boulders that aren't boulders. And I think the worst part of it is I actually hate this town. I don't like this. I'm looking at all of the other towns, which at this point don't look like separate towns and have all kind of conglomerated into one big mass. Which, while that's the point, is also I feel a way about it. This is just a big grid, and I guess that's pretty American. But and I say all these things like we're doing things the American way with a whole lot of sarcasm. I understand. The street signs are not American. I understand the road markings are not American. I understand the props and the most of the architecture is not American. I understand this is on a fictional map that is not in America. I understand that. It was the guiding principles of city planning that led me to say, I want this to be American. Harsh prison sentences. Exploitation of the native landscape with a quantity over quality mindset. And highways everywhere, with the car being the absolute most important method of transportation, being the guiding de facto ways that I have designed this city. That is what is American about it. I understand the roads do not have a double yellow line in the middle. It's a white double line. It should be yellow. I get that. I don't know why I'm being so aggressive about it either. Nobody's complained. I'm not having the FBI knocking on my door. FBI, open up! Every time I reload the game, there's new trees in my intersections, and I don't know why. It's not actually that big of an issue because it doesn't affect anything other than visuals. But if you rewind, you'll notice that there were trees on top of this train track. I saw that. There's just trees sprouting in the middle of everything, and I have to go and delete them every time I boot up the game. I am really starting to think new trees are spawning on the roads every time. Oh. Another naked intersection needing to be painted. That's beautiful. Can you make better interchanges than that in City Skylines 2? Yes, without a doubt. Yeah, from the pictures I've seen on Reddit, yes. But I don't want to. I want to do it in the City Skylines 1, where I know the rest of the simulation will work. I mean, the before and after is just stellar. Like, instead of just driving through empty concrete with no marking, it's just the simple idea of having some lines to go by really changes things up. I'm just so happy with this. Just right now, I really am just kind of adrift. I'm placing down stuff. I'm trying to plan as little as possible. Traffic flow is 87%. At first, earlier it was 85, now it's 86. At first it was 85. I felt pretty good about myself. I was like, wow, it's actually getting better. 87 is suspiciously good. Now I think something's wrong. Example, haven't had to break out the socket wrench yet. I've been able to get by with just sledgehammers. Just slather down enormous highways. It's fine. This is not a particularly large shot. This is maybe half of the developed area, and I'm looking at what is ostensibly 5 major roadways under 8 interchanges or something. There's a lot. Forget about it. You know what? The game was slowing down, so I went to TMPE and turned off individual driving styles. Now, with the reckless driver's percentage set to 0, this may have had no impact, but all of a sudden, I went from 81% traffic to 87%, so I'm gonna pretend that that's what it was. I do not know my purpose, but I just know that I must paint roads. I tried to replace some of the regular ore mines with the underground ones because there's less dirt, so I can see less of it. I want to see as little of it as possible. It is the ugliest industry. I'm back on this. Bear with me. I'm going to push it to 36K. I'm going to probably put it all in this episode because I just want to get on with it, just like the first time. Flatten out some land, place down some more houses, and put highways through neighborhoods of poor minorities, just like America does, and then finally start on public transit, and then at that point start detailing everything. So it's a little bit at a time. There is clearly a new interchange here. Things have changed. Let's get a bird's eye view. I'll go ahead and flash some pictures. Put some pictures up. And here's the before. Just an empty. I demolished all of it. Just all the highway that was there. Here's a in between, and then here's some coming up on the end here. Completely redid this whole section, connected all the roads, cost about 350,000 money, and 8 hours of my time. I started at 9 p.m., finished at about 4:30 a.m. It's 6:30 now, as I finish up some finishing touches, and start on the next sections of the city. In my defense, all of it is decorated. As you can see here, 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 and here. And also just everywhere else, all at the same time. It's extraordinarily large, mostly due to the fact that I needed lots of space to have these extra lanes to prevent weaving, which ends up creating these, I guess you'd call them M shapes and V shapes of extra roads kind of crisscrossing under each other, but there's very little weaving. There's no, aside from a couple spots that I figured would be extra low traffic, even if you filled this thing to the brim, you don't have to cross other lanes to get where you're going. You just make your merges. Antithesis to a clover leaf. You know, I don't see a lot of sunrises.
Stop it. Get some help.
I will finish this later. Okay, I won't lie, this took longer than I thought it would. While the gap from the last milestone to this one is a whopping 10,000 population, that probably took more than what I would expect 10,000 population to take. I can attribute this mostly to the simulation slowing down, ergo it just takes longer to get any money and takes longer for people to move in, but oh goodness gracious, it took a hot minute. I'll go over the changes in a second, but this is what it's all about, was the cargo hub. That is what I had most recently set as the goal. Originally it was 2 more milestones down until we got the Metropolitan Airport, and there's just a don't have a snowball's chance in hell of reaching that with the current way things are. I would have to pretty much rezone everything as high density, and I don't want to. Also got nuclear power. Horribly efficient, or terribly inefficient. It's not very well balanced. It's way underpowered. You pay a lot, don't get a lot. But it's cool. And then there's also these things down here. Look at that. Quad Singularity. Energy Tear. It's mods that I forgot to disable. I mean, I just won't use them, but like this. But my mod list is like a giant plastic tub of old Legos you bought at a garage sale. You're gonna get a lot of Legos. You're also, it's hand-me-down, so you're also gonna get a whole lot of other stuff. Some plastic dinosaurs, some Kinects, some, like, marble tubes, maybe a 1.5 broken Transformers toys, some random shreds of paper, knockoff Legos. Like, you got what you want, but there's, due to the nature of it, there's a whole lot of other weirdness going on in there too. There is, throughout this list, there is a bunch of stuff in here. Like, yeah, just this overpowered future tech crematorium. Not using that. Obviously not using that. But it's in the bin. And frankly, I'm a little too scared to disable anything, because I'm worried that it'll A, brick this save, or B, brick another save that I pretend I'll ever revisit. This little neighborhood is actually pretty cool. I'll flash up some pictures of these assets. Um, these are modeled after SimCity 4 buildings, which is why they look so good, because the architecture in that game is peak. This neighborhood here, hey, I said I wouldn't do high density. I'm a dirty liar. I just wanted to get to the milestone. Anybody pick up the shopping center tiny DLC? Yeah, the Mall of Marvels is enormous. This is gigantic. More neighborhood over here. Oh, its own little ecosystem with lots of parks to drive up the land value and make it to at least somewhat justify the fact that some of these buildings are very high level. Then over by Boulder, I filled it in over here. And then plomped down, threw down some more farms over here and decided we need a freight yard. What is this? Deception. I said no public transit, and so far I have only moved the goalposts twice. I saw a good opportunity to place this down, and I took it. In the content creator pack, it is the ground bypass train station, because I don't think I can fit a separate passenger train line in this mess. So I'm going to use the freight one. So where does this go? Why are you... That is so dumb. Just connect to... That was where I was going to put it. It was going to go right there. And now it's doing that, and I'll fix it myself. I just wanted to unpause for this. Put a little thing down. Oh, that's not good. This place is not equipped to handle catastrophe. Splish splash. Oh. I didn't know that could happen. Don't. Oh, they're just going right in. Oh, turn around. Turn around. Alright. It does have a relatively smooth grade of railroad track all the way out of it. And it hooks up to the main line. Remains to be seen if that'll get used. But this is what I was working towards. 36,000 people. Now I've got a cargo hub, so now I have that. Really kind of having a moment of all that glitters is not gold, because I don't see this doing anything for me. At this point in time... Okay, hang on a second. Traffic flow is at 80% and dropping. Where is the issue? Oh, Lord. What is this? What? I'm gonna cheat. Hey! Despawning enabled for just a minute. The original goal, as I had set it out, was to introduce public transit only when I think I said the city could bear the weight of the ideals of American city planning and Robert Moses no longer, but traffic flow is 83%. Things are fine, actually. Traffic flow is, in fact, as good as it's ever been. As, once again, red just means high throughput, not necessarily slow-moving traffic with actual issues. This part of the highway is orange. Let me tell you, there's no issue here. So, let's put it this way. At the current moment, does the city of Nowhere and its neighbors actually need public transit? No. I don't think it could reasonably be argued that that's the case. But the whole time it's been about the destination and not the journey, because this part of the journey is boring to me in comparison to the next step, which is adding the public transit. That is the most fun part to me, is building up the city around the foundation of what you already have, which is the next step. Could we keep going without public transit? Yes. Will I? No, I find that boring. I actually just want to add some trains because that's fun. Let's go. Kind of taking what I said at the beginning, throwing it in the garbage, or twisting it so much beyond what I originally intended that I may as well have lied. Oops. It is the year 2090. Traffic is light. Everyone's healthy. We have a lot of money. Everything is good. But it's about to get a whole lot better. Bye.